Could this man be Ukraine's next president?
Добрый вечер. Знаете, я сразу хочу сказать, у нас сегодня просто концерт, никакой агитации. Все по-честному, вы ж деньги заплатили. Такое еще мир не видел.
Chic is Volodymyr Zelenskyy's trademark. He and his troupe, Kvartal 95, are famous for mocking the political elite. So during the election campaign, the comedian simply stuck to his day job and went on tour. The formula works especially well among young people.
A good sense of humour is a sign of intelligence. None of our politicians ever makes a funny joke, unless you think our ridiculously low wages are some kind of joke.
Ukrainians are the lowest paid workforce in Europe, but their politicians are often inexplicably wealthy thanks to corruption. Zelensky channeled the nation's rage into his TV series Servant of the People, where he plays a fictional everyman president.
How come someone earning a school teacher's salary can't even afford a modest apartment in Kiev, while you guys, who are supposed to work for the people, live in luxurious mansions? Maybe you've made a mistake and you're serving the wrong master. Instead of the people, you're serving the oligarchs.
But that's fiction. The real-life Zelensky is himself a wealthy businessman with ties to Igor Kolomoisky, an oligarch who's suspected of a multi-billion-dollar bank fraud. The candidate gets annoyed when accused of being Kolomoisky's puppet, as here at a meeting with business leaders.
You know who I am, right? Can you seriously imagine that I would do all this in order to defend the interests of that man? I can't see the logic.
As if to underscore the point, Zelensky has recruited a known foe of Kolomoisky. As finance minister, Alexander Danylyuk nationalized the oligarch's bank. He's one of two high-profile former ministers who are supporting Zelensky. Both accused corrupt forces of blocking their reform efforts before leaving office.
What I've learned from them is how not to go about things if you don't want all the reforms you start to end up failing. People learn from their mistakes, and I'm learning together with them how to reform this country in a way that actually works. I think they threw in the towel at one point, but now they're seeing a big second chance.
Volodymyr Zelenskiy is from Kryvyi Rih, a steel town in southeast Ukraine. His production company, Kvartal 95, is named after this area of the city. His regional campaign manager is an actor from the troupe. Star power no doubt adding to the enthusiasm of these volunteers. Thousands have signed up to be election observers for Zelenskyy's team.
Your role is to alert the local electoral commission members when someone's doing something fishy.
In Ukraine, every candidate fields observers, since fraud is always an issue.
You have the right to take photos, make audio and video recordings, and act to stop violations.
It's the first time in our history when there's been a real chance of changing things. And Zelensky has managed brilliantly to unite East and West, those who supported the Maidan protests and those who didn't. What matters is the future.
Zelenskyy's candidacy has got these two young men fired up with enthusiasm for Ukraine's future and that of their city. They take me to the top of an old slag heap for the best view over Kryvyi Rih's industrial heritage.
Нанять экскурсовода, который лучше меня знает.
Да, и рассказал бы, и знал бы исторические данные про это место. Здесь можно, да.
There's definitely potential here for industrial tourism. We're in a wonderful place. On one side you can see the quarries, on the other the city. It's beautiful.
Currently, far from attracting visitors, cities like this one are losing workers to the promise of a better life in the EU.
Wages here are actually higher than the national average, but young people still leave their jobs and move to Poland. It would be great to get those people back so that we could all together build a new, prosperous Ukraine.
Back in Kiev, though, many prominent supporters of the Maidan protests and the fight against corruption are skeptical about Zelensky.
We're talking about him as a new face, but there is nothing more but the face. I mean, we don't know what the man is standing for. And my biggest worry is that I don't know what his program is and who are the people who are advising him. Obviously, he has recorded several online meetings with so-called experts, and those meetings have been known to be full of many very strange mistakes.
On Sunday, Ukrainians face an unenviable choice: to stick with the corrupt elite that 2 revolutions on this square have failed to get rid of, or to take a leap in the dark by electing a political neophyte.